Soul is the latest movie from Disney Pixar, streaming exclusively on Disney Plus. Obviously not a theatrical release because nothing's in the theatres at the moment and the theatres aren't open. But that doesn't take away from the fact that this is a very high quality movie and it could easily be a theatrical release, and maybe it would have been. I'm not really sure, but obviously they got the streaming service now. Whether they would have shown it in theatres or if they just would have put it straight on the platform, I don't know. But it's certainly cinema quality. And as with a lot of Disney Pixar films, despite how good all of them have been, you kind of, well, me personally, I go into each one with a bit of apprehension about how kiddie is it going to be? Is it really going to do much for me? But as with a lot of those previous movies, it kind of catches me off guard, and it actually has a very surprising story. It goes a way I didn't expect it to go, the narrative. Soul follows this character, Joe Gardner, voiced very well by Jamie Foxx. He's a guy who wants to be a musician, he's into jazz, all this stuff, and he just wants to get his big gig. Finally gets the opportunity, he's excited. This happens early on in the movie, thinking, okay, where's this heading? And then boom, he dies. Yeah, I didn't expect that at all. I'd seen a trailer and I wasn't really sure. I thought it was just like, maybe he's having an out-of-body experience in the movie, something like that. But no, he dies in this movie. And he's sort of on the stairway to heaven. And he's like, it's not my time, I'm not ready. And he sort of escapes and he ends up in this other place, which is a place before you're born, where you get given your personality and your traits. And he basically just wants to get back to Earth. And already you're sucked in, you're curious. You know, it had some themes, some underlying themes that I didn't really expect. The whole thing of death, along with what's the meaning of your life, you know, what was I put on the earth to do, what was I born to do, my personalities, my traits. So it kind of takes a really deep look at that, and you know, also the whole what comes after death. You know, they don't exclusively show what happens when you die, they just show you on this stairwell. You know, who knows what their perception of what it is afterwards. But it's an interesting look at it because we've never really had a movie that does this, and I feel like it's almost the most mature of the Disney Pixar movies in terms of the thing they're looking at here. Whether that will go over a child's head or not, I'm not really sure. I mean, of course, it's something as an adult you completely pick up on, especially when you go back and watch old Disney Pixar movies. You pick up on a lot of stuff like, you know, jokes and just themes in general. I'm not really sure what a kid's gonna think when he's watching this and just be like, okay, 1 minute the guy's a jazz player, the next he's a little glowy blob. Who knows? That's for a child to answer that question. And as with a lot of Disney Pixar movies, it has some good laughs in it. It's not really exclusively what I'd call a comedy movie, to be honest. It's like, it didn't really have me at any moments, you know, bursting out laughing or things that I found particularly funny, but it's just a nice movie, and you stay invested, you stay interested, the characters are very compelling, and the humour's there, and when it's there, it's good. You know, I'm a cat man myself, and there's a whole segment where Jamie Foxx goes back to Earth, but he gets in the cat's body by mistake, so he's a cat, and you know, cat things make me laugh. You know, just cat stereotypes. I like cats. So yeah, that was a good segment where he's in a cat's body, and then the person he teams up with in the movie is in his body, and that was a really good, I don't know, like half-hour, 40-minute segment. And the voice casting was really good. The person who voices the secondary character, called Soul 22, is voiced by Tina Fey. You'll recognise a lot of voices in here. I certainly recognised a few. One of the characters, I'm pretty sure it's the guy who does the Crystal Maze. He's from the what's that show called? The IT Network. We're also going to talk about the animation, the way this film looks. It's probably the best looking Pixar movie. That's mainly because of the fact it's, you know, more modern. But with animations, you sort of, when you watch it as a kid and you keep watching the newer ones and the new ones and new ones, in your head they all just end up looking the same. And you think with animation, like, how much can animation really improve? Like, there's not really much of a difference. But, you know, if you go back and watch Toy Story 1, and then you watch Toy Story 4, or just watch Toy Story 1 and then watch this, you're going to notice the difference. You know, I watched Monsters Inc. the other day, and when I was watching it, I thought, this kind of does actually look a little bit outdated, like the animation doesn't look quite as crisp. But in this, some stuff actually looks real. Like, you know, they do like a close-up of a bed, and it looks like a real bed, and then you see like a animated character coming in. You sort of think, okay, it's not actually real, but it certainly looks it. The lighting is incredible, you know, just the colours, it's so bright, and just, you know, animation is getting a hell of a lot better, and it almost just looks like, I don't know if there's like an essence of mocap and stuff like this, probably not, because it is just a full-on animation, but it almost looks like it, because just everything is so impressively done. But, you know, animation and voice acting aside, the story, you know, kind of goes down a path that I didn't expect. I could never really guess where it was going to end up. And, you know, the ending was very satisfying, and I enjoyed it, and I had a good time with it. I'm not going to say it really caught me by surprise, and I was like, whoa, I didn't expect that to happen, because you're not really sure where it's going to end up. You kind of have a rough idea, because at the end of the day, it's got to end happy. So it's a Disney Pixar movie. Overall, very good movie. Very much worth your time. Don't let it put you off that it's on a streaming service and you think, it's not going to be any good, because as we've learned recently, the stuff that's coming out on streaming services is actually just top of the line, really. It's exceptional. And Disney, they're sort of dominating the market. They're making everything. They're making Star Wars, they're making the animated movies, they're making the Marvel, all this sort of stuff. But I'm okay with it. At first I was skeptical about the whole streaming thing and overtaking cinema. Don't get me wrong, I still want cinema to come back. Obviously, who knows what's going to happen with this whole Rona keeping the industry shut for so long. We're still going to get cinema releases. I hope it picks up again. I kind of feel like it will, because people certainly are missing the cinema. We all love to watch stuff at home on the TV, but there's only so much of it you really want to do. You kind of want to go out. It's more of a social thing as well. But it's certainly not damaging the quality of what we're getting. And yeah, if you get a chance, watch Soul. I'm going to give this movie 8 out of 10. Probably sounds harsh because of how nicely I spoke about it just then, but I don't know, it didn't really stand out to me too much. It didn't have too many laughs, and it's one of them, could I see myself rewatching it? Probably not. There's very few Disney Pixar movies that are really sort of outstanding, and that's stuff like, for me, Monsters Inc., that's my favourite. But also WALL-E, the Toy Story movies, they got that essence of you really want to go back and rewatch it every now and then. Finding Nemo. This, not so much, but it's a good film nonetheless. So yeah, 8 out of 10. Thank you for watching. See you in whatever's next.